Work's done for the day. Feeling a little sick, not gonna lie. I'm not very excited. When it comes to sickness, I am like the biggest baby about getting like a stuffy nose or like a sore throat. I go absolutely crazy. You could ask my wife. And I always just refuse to admit I'm sick. Because I feel like in my head, if I tell myself I'm not sick, I won't be sick. But I just have to keep telling myself that. So that's usually how I work through sickness. And it's not a fun process. It's like a 4 or 5 day ordeal of me constantly in denial about me not feeling well. So we'll see if it kind of eases up. I mean, we have a fun weekend. We have a football game ahead of us with the Texas Tech BYU game, and hopefully I'm good for that. I don't know. I'm just going to keep telling myself I'm not sick. But because of that, we do have a workout today, and even though I'm not feeling the best, I think it's still super important to get something in. So I'm going to get some movement. I got a leg day today, which typically is a very tough day to do when you're not feeling so good. So I think I'm going to take it easy and just do like maybe 3 to 4 workouts and just try to be intentional with those and kind of just relax after that and get some medicine in me and just drink a bunch of water. Maybe my kombuchas will help me too. But it's not going to be super serious at all. So just keep that in mind because I want to kind of preserve myself the best I can, but I also don't want to lose a streak of workouts. So that's what we're going to get done. As you guys recalled before, we're starting to learn some like conversational Japanese to kind of associate with everyday things I do in my life. So we did some gym once yesterday, which is Juyo Age wa Ski desu, which is I like working out. And I knew today was going to be leg day, so we learned the word for leg day, which is Ashi no Kyoka. So today, if I would say today I'm going to go do leg strengthening, it would be Kyo wa ashi no kyoka o ikimasu. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to be as productive as possible in this workout, and we're going to see how it goes. So I'm off. Itakimasu. Hey, I'm back at the house. Hotel, I guess. It was not the most productive workout, I'll be honest. I was really trying to get locked in, but honestly, just after 2 workouts, I could tell like my allergies were kind of getting to me, and I just pretty much called it. I'm just happy I did get some movement at least. It's not a lot. It's enough to just keep my legs moving. I'll probably hit legs again on Friday, but for at least the meantime, I'm just going to relax. I got back actually a little bit ago, but I kind of just got right into studying, so I forgot to record anything. It wasn't a lot of like textbook studying. I was using a lot more of HelloTalk. It's an app where you could join in like voice chats with groups of like people who are trying to learn Japanese and English at the same time. So obviously I was not very productive in them because I know barely any Japanese. Tsukushi Nihongo hanashimasu. But I did get to practice what I did know, which was a little bit helpful. And then I spent like another like 20 to 30 minutes just looking up things I like and things I want to learn. So the main one is asking about the gym. So if I want to ask someone if they like working out, I could say Kintore ski, and if they say yes, I could ask them what their favorite body part is to work out. So it'd be Ichiban ski na boika, and that's pretty much it. Wait, Ichiban ski boy doko. Ichiban ski wa boy doko. Something along those lines. It was just like little sentences I added into my Anki. I also added some in for anime, some things I could ask about that if someone likes anime. So that was really about it. We're about to just jump into some textbook work, just kind of going through all the vocab here. And then from there, probably just going to relax some. Not a crazy day because I am starting to pick up this random bug that I'm not trying to overexhaust right now. So we're going to get into some studying and knock that out and then go relax. All right, y'all. I just finished up my studying for the night. We're still doing a lot of reviews right now. It's nothing like too in depth. I still have a lot of these vocabs memorized, but it's taking a lot more time of just actually going through these workbooks and doing the exercises and the listening practices. And it's a little bit mundane, but I think it's super important because the second you start rushing yourself, if you forget something that was early on, and then you kind of regret it later because it comes back around. So I'm just trying to be as thorough as possible as I go through this to make sure I actually grasp an understanding of what I am actually learning. I spent some more time going through some of like the extra vocab because you have the book where it gives you like your regular vocab for each section, and then in the back your family pops up a new one. So I just loaded up my Anki Dex, which I'm pretty much going through every single day. It's usually about like 25 to 30 vocab words I review each day. And then I speak those out loud just to make sure I have those. When it comes to speaking practice, it's still very not that good. I need to work more on my pronunciation for sure, and just like practicing more saying stuff out loud, because I get in the habit of thinking I'm talking out loud, but I'm almost like mumbling. And then when I find out, if I talk to someone like who I'm practicing Japanese with, I start to like mumble and second guess myself. So instead of just like going through it and like going through the motions, I'm like, ugh. I'm like actually like speaking my words out to make sure I'm fully saying out loud, if that makes sense. Outside of that, the last thing we have is with these workbooks, it's pretty nice. They actually have like a listening section. So in like the back, you could like go through a scanner, a QR code. And then there's like sections where it actually give you like sounds and conversations of people talking about the things you just already learned. So I'm going to do probably that for like the next like 15 to maybe 20 minutes. And even just relaxing in bed while I eat, I'll probably play it. So that way I just get my brain naturally listening to words I already know, but them sticking in my head a little bit better. It was a pretty productive day. I mean, we studied from about 6:45 to about 8:40 at this point now. I mean, at the beginning, it was a lot more like casual, just looking up words and like enjoying it. And like the last hour is probably a little bit more of like the mundane, working the textbook, looking at words. Tomorrow, what I have, I'm not fully confident in going into section 3 yet. So I'm still wrapping up section 2, which will be pretty much have to learn all of this stuff right here. So good sayings to know, also just like some regular classroom stuff. And it's very interesting, like learning a new language, because you're going back through all of this stuff that like you don't even think about memorizing. Like in my head, I already know like a window or eraser or a dictionary, but those words are probably like the hardest for me to memorize because I don't use them as frequently or would use them in sentences. So as I go through some of these words, like something like dictionary, that's a little bit harder for it to stick in my mind. So I have to work through it a little bit better. And I remember actually struggling a lot in this section because I actually skipped it because I didn't see it in the back because I was rushing through the chapter so much. So I'm going to give this a little bit more time. I probably won't move on until I fully have all of this memorized. And that being said, I mean, just looking at it from like a big or like a bird's eye view, I mean, we've been doing these for 4 days, and we're already fully caught up to date on like section 2. It's pretty impressive, at least for myself. I'm happy about it. But the real task is getting past chapter 3, I would say, because this is pretty much where I left off last time. And it's almost like my curse, where like I get to chapter 3 and you get a little bit overwhelmed just because you went from knowing all the vocab words before, so it was easy just refreshing it to, okay, now I gotta learn 35 to 40 words. How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna break it up? So that's when like the onset procrastination starts, and I'm pretty aware of it now. So I know how I'm going to section it out. I'm probably going to take maybe like 3 weeks to go through the whole entire section to really like just slow everything down, to make it easier for me to comprehend. So I probably won't fully, well, what I'll probably do actually is, I know some of this already, so I might go through some of the verbs and spend more time on just like the regular words and like phrases to do, because this section is called like setting a date, and spending time on grammar, because grammar is super important too in the Japanese languages. There's a lot of particles you have to memorize and like certain sounds you use for like certain like grammar contexts. So the process will probably be, you know, memorizing maybe 4 to 5 words a day. Ideally, I think that's a realistic thing to do. 4 to 5 words a day, and then just slowly studying the grammar and like using it in sentences and starting to use like words from like the past chapter into that sentence as well. So that's kind of my plan for going forward. Ever since I found Hello Talk To, I feel a little bit more motivated, because I could actually find people who are Japanese who I could talk to, who I could ask questions to, who I could practice pronunciation and get roasted on my accent. So I'm feeling pretty confident. I have a DoorDash order about to pull up with some, you know, flu and cold medicine and some emergencies. So hopefully we could get that wrapped up pretty quickly. And then outside of that, I'm going to go watch some TV and get some sleep and just get right back after it tomorrow. It's going to be a weirder day tomorrow, just because I do have, a flight over to the next city I'm working at. So I have that flight at 6:30. I'll be flying until like 10 o'clock, I want to say. So I think I have a layover, unfortunately. So I think we'll probably get some studying done at the airport and on the plane, which will be really nice. I'm not sure if I'm going to record that or not. I don't know how I would record that. I don't want to set up a tripod next to somebody and like just be annoying. So we'll see what we do. But that's been our week so far, and I'm going to go relax and try to feel a little bit better. But I appreciate y'all watching.